what are just some of your biggest takeaways, knowing that I know you've had this conversation for the last two presidential elections, but as you opened with, this is also a really different scenario than the last two presidential elections. So, what would be your biggest level takeaways, not just for our kids, but as we all go into not just election day, but the aftermath, as we've talked about?
Yeah. Um, so just like companies are closing on Wednesday and trying to take some space, what can you put in place for yourself, for your family over the next week that will help you navigate and regulate through this experience? Because it is going to be a big experience. So for example, I live alone in New York City, and I have made a very intentional choice to go be with friends next week because I don't want to be alone. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But I know that I don't want to be in my apartment by myself because that feels overwhelming. So are there things like that that you can do that will help you feel more connected, more supported? Now, that might be going and being with people, or that might be saying, I don't want to be with you, right? If you have grandparents that have a very different political view than you as parents, maybe that's the moment to say, you know what? We're going to catch you the week after because being together is going to be hard. Or it might mean we want to be together so that we can make sure that together as a family, we're here. Whatever your views are and whatever is going to support you as a parent is really important for you to put in place. So that might mean you stock up on an extra case of wine. That might mean that you have friends over the night of the election. It might mean that you make a deal with your partner that if you are lucky enough to be a co-parent, that you each get an hour of quiet time and the other person will take the kids for an hour every day so that you each can have time to process your own feelings and not have to worry about being a parent, but just being a human. Those self-care elements are going to make the whole difference, because once we get through this, we still then have life in a pandemic going. We still have virtual distance learning going. We still have all of those other elements in place. And so whatever you can do to take care of yourself is going to be really powerful and important. So that's one. Two, I'm just checking that there aren't questions that have come in. Okay. Two, forgive yourself for whatever moment of emotionality, of behavior, of experience you have in front of your kids, because you're going to have moments where this election feels really hard and overwhelming, and you're going to lose your cool in front of your kids. And that's human. And that's totally, totally, totally human. And so the guilt and the shame and all of the things that you do as parents, the best that you can, put that down. You now have an official prescription to just let that go, because it is happening in every family, in every home around this country. It is going to happen because this is big and this is hard and this is significant, and it is a powerful moment. Three, remember that this is a big, powerful moment, right? Which means we're not always going to be graceful, but it is going to be something that we remember. So are there things that you want to make sure you talk to your kids about, ways that you want to document it, right? Ways that you want to make sure you have a family meeting every moment because everyone's going to be talking about it. What are systems that you can put in place to make sure that you are having time with your family? Fourth, I think we're on four. Make sure you have time every single day that you are not talking about, not thinking about, not navigating the election. Your kids are still going to need to go to school. They're still going to need to play. They're still going to need to eat dinner. And that structure, as much as can stay in place, that structure of their day will help them stay on course, will help prevent problem behavior, will help you stay sane. You having to cook dinner will be a great respite. You needing to play a game of Go Fish will be a much needed respite. So take time out of all of the big things that are potentially coming to focus and play with your kids and connect with them as humans outside of the election and everything that's coming. And create time with your kids where you are willing to ask them and to answer any question that they ask. So if your kids need a space to talk about the election, make sure you're creating that for them. Make sure that they know they can ask you anything. And no matter how hard it is, you have to answer it honestly. Now, age appropriate, but honestly, because they're going to hear what's going on and you want them to hear it from you and know that they can talk to you about anything.